Today, in the second Sunday of Lent, we listen to the gospel reading, and in particular, I'd like to propose to you two questions. Number one, what is the Transfiguration? And number two, why is the Transfiguration important, and why is it important to you? Now, if you're interested in learning more about the Transfiguration, please search here on this YouTube video, Who is Jesus? His Identity Revealed in the Transfiguration, a video I made, or you can go to studymyfaith.com to learn more. But now let's just dive straight into it. So you see, the Transfiguration is strategically placed every year in the second Sunday of Lent to remind us of one very important point, that the Transfiguration points to something very special, the resurrection. You see, there is that fine connection between the Transfiguration and the resurrection. You see, let's recap a little bit. The Transfiguration is when Jesus took Peter, James, and John up on a high mountain, right? It was late at night. They were tired. They fell asleep. And Jesus revealed to these three disciples who he is on this mountaintop. In other words, Jesus transfigured before them. He revealed to them his divinity. And as you see in the gospel account of Matthew, Mark, or Luke, you'll notice that the disciples didn't quite understand what the Transfiguration is all about. It was only later that they finally understood what the Transfiguration is. And it's only after the resurrection. Which then leads to our second point. Why is the Transfiguration important? Well, you see, the Transfiguration is a foreshadowing. It is a prefiguration of the resurrection to come. Christ reveals to his disciples his divinity. But first, in order for them to fully understand and grasp everything, they have to endure the passion and suffering, just as Christ undergoes his passion and death. The disciples then get a chance to see into the future of what will take place, but then not yet. Now, going deeper still here, what we see is one more very important point. And that is, you see, the divinity of Christ revealed here in the Transfiguration then is this gateway, this bridge between the human and the divine. It is Jesus Christ who connects humanity together with divinity. And something else here too is we see the promise of Christ fulfilled, finally in the resurrection. But we get a glimpse of that promise through the Transfiguration. Now, I want to leave you with one very important point. You know, every day, or for most, every week, we enter into church, right? We go to church, we enter into Holy Mass. And something very special, very supernatural takes place there. You see, Christ is transfigured in the Eucharist. And when you receive Jesus into your body through this Holy Eucharist, he becomes part of you. How special is that? And so, as we read in the Transfiguration then, let that be a reminder for us always, especially when we endure trials, hardships, and difficulties in our lives, to turn to the Lord, to be our source of hope, to know that there is something greater on the other side, and that is the resurrection of Jesus Christ.